There is a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading, there is a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Ayim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
My name is Eliza.
My name is Elsie.
My name is Ebenezer Tufo.
This is Rosemary Robert Gacy.
Over the past 14 weeks, I have been part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey, and it has been a blessing for me. I want to share my lessons with you.
Indeed, my attitude to life has never been the same. On the very first day I joined the virtual Personal Growth and Leadership Masterclass organized by Center for Transformational Leadership CTL Africa under the tutelage of Mr. Samuel Ayim.
First, the law of intentionality. Second, the law of design. And third, the law of the rubber band, the law of expansion.
The law of intentionality, the law of awareness. Then we have the law of the mirror.
Looking at how intense these laws are and how much impact they're supposed to make to our life.
My value obviously is not the same. The program indeed satisfies my quest for knowledge. So I encourage you to be part of this journey and also become an encouragement to others.
I will recommend the CTL Africa to everyone who hears about us.
It has been a blessing to me, and I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
So we thank Mr. Ayim, and we thank CTL, and thank you for listening to us.
God bless you as you make a move today.
I have been blessed, and so you'll be blessed. Thank you.
Hi dear friend, my name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm the CEO for the Center for Transformational Leadership. And I'm bringing to you the growth journey. We've set aside 15 weeks of growth to help you to be intentional about your growth. Where do you want to reach in your leadership? Which area of your life do you want to grow in? Growth doesn't just happen. It has to be intentional. So in these 15 weeks, we're going to have special coaching sessions with you to be able to grow to where you want to grow. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. We're going to help you in all and more within these 15 weeks. Every week we'll have a session with you. This program is limited to only 15 people. We're going to have 15 people for 15 weeks, and we're going to learn 15 great growth lessons on this journey. So make a date with us and see you on the growth journey.
Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are tuning in from. We want to say welcome to another edition of the Leadership Platform. My name is Sarah Jessie Apia, and today I'll be your hostess for this program. So let's see who are here. Just drop your name and your comment to let us know in the comment section. I can see Douglas Amwateng from Tema here. Welcome. George and Joyce Apabli, all the way from Accra, are here with us. Ebenezer Tufor, also joining us from Abuja. And Miss Abby says that she is joining us, and this is such an intriguing topic, and she cannot wait to hear more. So, if you're joining us the first time, this is the Leadership Platform sponsored by the Center for Transformation Leadership in Accra. And we get together every Saturday to talk about leadership issues and how to grow your leadership to the next level. So, welcome, and please announce yourself in the comments so we can be able to welcome you appropriately. We are streaming this on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. And please share, subscribe, and invite your friends and families to join us. So, this evening, as Miss Abby says, we have an intriguing topic that we're going to talk about. It is the demons that afflict leaders. And we have no other person who will be able to do justice to this interesting and intriguing topic than the CEO and the host of the Leadership Platform, Mr. Samuel Ayim. He is the host of our platform and as well as the CEO of CTL Africa. He is a lawyer by profession. He is a John Maxwell certified coach and a trainer, and he has trained millions of people. He knows so much about what afflictions leaders go through. So this evening, he'll be talking to us about it. And I can see Teta Junior who has joined us. So welcome, Teta Junior. And I can see Rosalind Pratt saying this is her first time here. And she's from Accra. So Rosalind, glad to have you with us. Conrad is here also with us. Says, good evening. This topic will be revealing indeed. Can't wait to listen to my boss, Mr. Samuel Ayim. Same here. Mami Baffo from the Netherlands, Holland, we welcome you. And Reverend Alabi, very interesting topic and can't wait. So I can see everyone is really curious and really getting their papers and notepads ready to take lots of notes. So without much ado, I will invite Mr. Samuel Ayim to join us and share this intriguing subject with us. Samuel, if you're there, welcome and please take us away.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and welcome everybody who has joined us. The new ones, we especially welcome you. We love you and we appreciate your time. And those of you who every Saturday join us, you're so special to us. And so we want to once again welcome you to the Leadership Platform. As Sarah has said, share this link, subscribe to it, and invite your friends. I hope you can see me. I hope you can see my slide. Sarah, can you confirm that you can see me and see my slide?
I can see you. I can see you.
And can you see my slide?
I can see the slide now.
Okay. So let me
yes.
Is it okay?
Awesome. Now we can see the slide. Yes.
Okay. All right. That's great. So thank you so much, everyone. There's no light in my office. My generator keeps going on and off and kicking off the internet. So bear with me. If we go off, we'll reconnect. And so I just want us to be aware of that. If it goes off, I'll be in darkness and you may not be seeing me. So, but I think the demons don't want these topics to be treated, but it will be treated. So welcome everyone. We're going to talk about an important subject, and so many people have, when they saw the topic, have indicated how, wow, this is what is going to go on. Somebody asked me, hey, now have you gone spiritual? I say, yes, leadership is spiritual. So we're going spiritual this evening. All right. So thank you, everybody. But we're going to learn things that every leader should be aware of. Now, if you can see my slide, I have a short agenda, but there's a lot we want to cover, but we would just do what we can do within the time that we have. So you bear with us, but there's much more to this, and you can read about this also in different articles. I'll point you to where some of this thing is coming from, as we are always learning. So we would look at quickly the leader's special role and the mistakes that intelligent people make. We will not dwell on that, but we'll go to look at the demons that afflict, and we will suggest ways that you can exorcise or deal with those demons as leaders so that you can be very effective as a leader. Now, I want to start from here. When I was growing up, in our home, we had a fetish priest. We used to call her Mami Comfort, and she was my aunt, my father's sister. And usually, when she's not possessed, she's very nice, she's kind, she will cook for us, we will all eat. But from time to time, when the spirits possess her, she would do all sort of things. Sometimes she would just go out of the house and walk distances, and then we are not sure what is going on, but we know that it happens. The spirit will take her away and it will bring her back. So nobody was actually worried. In fact, when people died, they will come to our home, to Mami Comfort, and the spirits will be invoked. She'll be possessed by the spirits, and her voice will change to the person who has died. And if it's a man, her voice changed to the voice of a man, and she'll be speaking like the person who has died, telling why he died, who killed him or her. And we as children would just be glued watching her in her elements, and it was so fascinating. So when people wanted to find things about, they will come and she will evoke the spirits. And when the spirits or whatever goes away, the demons go away and she's no more possessed. Sometimes when we are with children, we'll ask her, why she was doing what she was doing. And she will say, what did she do? She doesn't remember anything that happened. And we will tell her some of the things that happened. Then she'll be like, is that how it was? Well, I don't know. These are spiritual things. So me, myself, I don't understand. She was a fetish priest. She was possessed. She did things. She revealed secrets. She told stories. She told things of the spirit world. But when the demons that possessed her were gone, she did not know what was going on. And that experience is what I find with leadership and leaders. A lot of the times, leaders will act out of character, and they behave in certain ways that they themselves are not aware of. And that act, those behaviors, sometimes become very detrimental. Some leaders rise to the top and they crash because they are so unaware of what it is. Leadership is so important. In fact, John Maxwell has said everything rises and falls on leadership. We know the importance of leaders and leadership to transforming nations and societies. A lot of the time, what we talk about are the qualities of leaders. And true leaders have amazing, amazing qualities. We talk about the vision of leaders. We talk about the strategic nature of leaders. We talk about character of leaders. We talk about the compassion of leaders, the passion of leaders. I mean, the 1,001 qualities of leaders, usually they are all positive. And in fact, leaders occupy special places because a lot of studies have shown that of a population of 100, only 100 of them tend to be, only 1% will tend to be leaders. In every group, sometimes only one person will take the leadership. The majority will want to follow, because there are only a few people who are prepared to take the risk of leadership, because decision making is so hard and leading people is so hard. So it takes a special breed of human beings to play the role of leaders. Leadership is about influence, and it is not everybody who is able to positively influence leaders. So these important qualities of leaders is usually what is emphasized. So we are looking at the results of leaders. We are looking at the achievements, the decisions that they are making, and sometimes we ignore the other side. Those of us who drive, sometimes when you are driving and you are moving into a lane, you check all your mirror, your back, and everything seems clear. And by the time you turn into the lane, you just see that you're crashing into another vehicle. And you say, but where did this vehicle come from? That vehicle was by your side, you didn't see it, and we call it the blind spot or the blind side. And if you're not careful, your blind spot or your blind side is what causes accident. And these are the demons that afflict leaders that we are going to look at. So a lot of the time we talk about the qualities, the character of leadership, the good things that leaders. And in fact, the great leaders, the achievers, when they are achieving things, we applaud them. And sometimes we even overlook their weaknesses. This evening, we are going to look at some of the dangers, the diseases, the demons that afflict leaders. I call them demons, that afflict leaders, and we have to find ways of dealing with them because they have a tendency to destroy leadership, to destroy organizations, and that is what we are going to do. Now, I have a small quiz on the screen. Those of you who can see, and Sarah, tell me if you can see my screen. A bat, a tennis bat, and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? And I want to believe that everybody on this call is a leader and everybody is intelligent and smart. So put into the chat, what will be your answer? A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Sarah, I want you to monitor just 30 seconds and tell me what answers you are getting.
All right.
Sarah,
yes. So I'm watching. The answers will be coming very soon.
Okay.
Because there's a delay. There's a delay. Right. When people type. So let's give them another 30 seconds.
Okay. So read the quiz again. A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
Okay, the first result is in from Richard Boampon. He says it's 10 cents. So we have 10 cents. Lawson says it's 5 cents. So we have 10 cents and 5 cents. Okay. So let's see the other answers coming in. 10 cents from Mami Bafo.
Okay.
10 cents. We have another 10 cents from Nate Joseph Kofi.
Good.
Great. Thank you so much for your participation. Please
All
continue.
right.
Let's see two more answers and then we can have
Okay.
Sam continue.
All right.
Okay. All right. So it's 10. I see 10 and 5 cents.
Okay.
Ball costs 5 cents. Yeah. So 10
Okay.
and 5. Those are the
So the
answers we get.
majority of the answers say what?
10.
10 cents. All right.
Yes.
And that was a research that was done among top leaders, top class executives. And this question was thrown to them. And the majority, like the majority around this table, say 10 cents. And 10 cents is not the correct answer. 5 cents is the correct answer because the bat cost $1 more. So if you says it's 10 cents, if you just subtract 10 cents from $1, you don't get $1. Okay. So, but the point here is simple, that intelligent people also commit mistakes. And in fact, there are some mistakes that only intelligent people commit. And sometimes when I say this, I illustrate it with myself when I had come fresh from the village and I had to cross a street. I mean, I stayed by the other side of the road for as long as possible. I was looking at the cars coming, and it took so many minutes. And my uncle, who had crossed to the other side, was asking me to cross. And I was afraid to cross because I wanted to make sure that the street was totally cleared. But there were people who were, who were smarter, who were in town, and they were crossing. And I could see one of them was almost hit by the car. Because I was so unintelligent and a village boy, I did not dare cross the street when the road was not clear. But the smart guys from the city will cross the street even though they saw cars coming. And that is what happens to intelligent people. And leaders are generally very intelligent people. They are smart, and as some philosophers have said, thinking is a difficult job. That's why, we have only a few people like leaders who think. The majority will follow. But even though we are so smart, there are some mistakes that we do. And I just want us to focus on this today. Some of life's greatest gifts, including high intelligence, can also come with challenges. If you aren't willing to take an honest look at the whole picture, you are selling yourself short. And that isn't smart, because there are some mistakes that only intelligent people commit. And so I want leaders around this table this evening to just seize this into our spirit, that intelligent as we are, there are some mistakes that we commit. Some call them mistakes, some call them diseases, and I call them demons. Now, the big part of some of the things that we're going to share, because a lot of the people, the political leaders, the economic leaders, the business leaders, would conveniently not talk about the weaknesses of leaders. The person who eloquently spoke about the ill and the diseases of leadership was Pope Francis. And in a speech to the Vatican team, he was speaking to the people who are, if you like, the cream of the Catholic Church, the leadership. And he was pointing to them the ills, the diseases that he found as the head of the Catholic Church among the leadership of the church, and by extension, the diseases, he called them, that afflict leaders. And we are going to share some of them. And you can Google Pope Francis' speech and listen in detail about how he discusses a lot of them. There are so many diseases that afflict leaders. We are just going to look at a few within the time that we have. All right. So let's get started. Demon number one that afflict leaders: thinking we are immortal immune, or downright indispensable. This is one of the biggest, most dangerous demons. Leaders feel they are immortal, they feel invincible, they feel indispensable. And I had a boss who hit his hand on the table and said, if I'm not in this organization, what will happen? Everything is on me. I had another boss who advised me earlier on in my career, and he says, the beginning of stress and emotional distraction is to think that you are too important for your job. And a lot of leaders feel so important because the role of the leader is so important. And we sometimes mix the role with our importance. And so we don't examine ourselves. We turn ourselves into lords and master. We want people to worship us because we are so important. We give orders and people should obey. We think that we are above all other people. This is called a pathology of power, and it comes from what is called superiority complex, or others call it narcissism. We feel we are so important, we can't touch, and nobody can complain, nobody can criticize us, and nobody can talk about us. This thing can go into the leader's head, and this can destroy your leadership, and it can destroy your organization. What is the antidote to this indispensability demon? It's called humility. How can you exercise this superiority complex? It's a very simple exercise, and I encourage all of you to do it. Just go to the nearest cemetery and read the tombstones, and I'm sure you will find names of people who once were considered invincible, powerful. Just go back and think of all the great leaders that you can think about and ask yourself, where are they? So that is demon number one. We should all as leaders understand that we are just servants and we are not immortal, we are not immune, and we are not indispensable. Just leave that organization, leave the title, and leave your card. And then you see that you are just ordinary. All right? So demon number one. Demon number two, excessive busyness. Leaders want to achieve. We want to get great things done. We get ourselves immersed in the work to the neglect of other aspects of our lives. We neglect our families, and I want you to go back to, I think, the last week or last 2 weeks presentation by Amos Kevin Annan on winning work and not losing love. It's on our YouTube channel. Go and Google for it and listen to the insightful presentation that Amos gave us about balancing our lives. But leaders want to achieve results, and we have so much to do. You're the CEO. Everybody reports to you. You have to look at that. You have to look at that. And we get so busy that sometimes the next thing we realize, we are just dropping dead. We get blood pressure. We don't take care of our health. We don't take care of our families. And I was saying on that last presentation, the shock of my life when I decided to have, now that my children were all going out, I said, let's create a family meeting, and every month let's meet and discuss. And my children objected to it and said that I didn't know them. Is it now that I'm going to try to talk to them when I was spending all the years trying to raise money for them? Excessive business. What is the antidote? Rest. The Bible says even God rested on the seventh day. So we need to observe a time of rest. Leaders need to be conscious to rest and also balance our work, our achievements, our vision, our goals. A lot of leaders have just fallen off because they've been too busy and they've been found dead on the job. All right? Demon number three, mental and emotional petrification. These are leaders who have develop a heart of stone. A heart of stone. And they are people who have lost their interior alertness, and they are tending to just pushing paper and just work, and they have lost compassion for human beings. When you focus so much on the work, on formalities, and you lose compassion, you lose your sensitivity as a human being, and as a leader, you have lost it. You have lost it. Some leaders have gone to a point that they are even incapable of loving people, and they separated themselves from people because they don't want to be contaminated, and they have to be hard, because if you're not hard, people will trample over you. John Maxwell has said, if you are lonely at the top, then something is wrong with your leadership. This philosophy that you should separate yourself from people that you lead, and you shouldn't get them close to you, and you should have a wall of separation, you have a shut door, and don't have a sensitivity for them. When your people have problems, they have joys and happiness, and you don't care about it. It is a huge, huge demon. The antidote is, guys, let us just remember we are humans. At the bottom line, we are all human beings, and we cannot ignore the need to be human. So let us understand that this is what we are called for. We need to keep the humility and unselfishness and the generosity as leaders. Very, very important. Demon number 4. And I have so many of the demons, so when I get to my time, I will stop. Excessive planning and functionalism. When a leader wants to plan everything to the point that we want to exclude all spontaneity. We believe that we can plan so that we can eliminate any flexibility. And some of us become so functional and bureaucratic that we just want to apply the rules to the detriment of flexibility and humanness. Yes, it is good to have order. It's good to have rules. But when, as a leader, you're so focused on the plans, you're so focused on the rules, you're so focused on the functions, and some of us, we will not even cross to go and help others, because that's not my job, that's not my role, that's not my function. Then we are missing it. We miss the big picture. The remedy is flexibility. Spontaneity and serendipity are sometimes more effective than human planning. You know, sometimes you're planning so much, but the answer is, you just stumble over the answer. A driver just gives you an idea, and no, that's not in the budget, that's not in the plan, that's not in the strategy. But that strategy is not working, and the answer is somewhere else. So leaders need to be flexible. Demon number 5 is poor coordination. When the leader loses a sense of community among the team members, and therefore the team loses harmony in the function and in the equilibrium of the team, and members do not work together. And sometimes we are so focused on the work that sometimes it's the leader who is actually causing division among the members and losing the humanity and the community of the organization, losing the big picture. We need to understand that the team is more important than the individual. John C. Maxwell says, 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. Silos, my department, sales does not want to care about production. When I used to work in the bank, the marketing people are they're the bankers, they're the ones who get the big bonuses. And the operations people are the back office people. They don't, and the front person is bringing the business. He's promised his customer that he's going to book this transaction in a day. And the operations people say, well, this document is not complete. That is not complete. And the customer is the one who is suffering. That is losing community, losing teamwork in the interest of sectional departmental roles. So teamwork, understanding teamwork is the answer to that. All right. Demon number 6, the leadership Alzheimer's disease. This is where leaders lose the memory of the people who have helped them, who have supported them, who have helped them on their journey. You see, you cannot lead and achieve alone. Some people have mentored you. Some people have helped you. Even the team members, your employees who have worked so hard, and you are taking the credit for all the achievement. Now that the organization is big, is successful, and you've forgotten about the roles that they all played. And leaders get afflicted by this demon. And sometimes the people have helped them. They will just not even recognize them. They will just throw them off the bar, throw them under the bus anyhow, because it gets to a point where they don't feel like they need them anymore. That is a very dangerous disease. When the leader has lost the memory of who inspired them and supported them, and then they'll build walls and routines and shut doors, and their achievements become idols. That's what they see, all the great things they have been able to achieve. And then they praise themselves, and they have lost the memory of the past, where they came from. People say, I like talking about my village. And I do, because I always want to remember where I've come from. Because where I am today is not where I began. And the memory, the remembrance of where you have come from is so important to ground you. The antidote to the leadership Alzheimer's disease, that demon, the antidote is gratitude. Remember who has helped you on your way. The adage says, be nice to the people on your way up, because they're the same you meet on your way down, because they don't move. You're the one moving up and down. All right. Demon number 7. And wherever I get to and my time is up, I will stop. I have 10 minutes. Rivalry and vainglory. Here is when appearances and the perks and the titles becomes the primary object of the leader, of the leader's life. Your title is so important. I've seen people fight over titles at the corporate world. People will take title even over money sometimes. And organizational structures come, and people are just not looking at the big picture of where it is going. But what is the title? What is that box called? I remember once in my organization, people were so obsessed about titles that the CEO, one of my organization, the CEO decided that the departmental heads were going to be called MDs, Managing Director in charge of human resources, Managing Director in charge of finance, Managing Director in charge of law. And immediately that was announced, some people were so happy and quickly changed their cards. I think I was the only one who refused to change my card. And my boss was upset with him. You have to change your title. I said, boss, I am the head of legal. What is this MD about? What is it supposed to change in the work that I do? But for some people, no. But this is a disease, because for some people, the title is what, people play to. The antidote to exercise this vainglory that we do is to remember the purpose of leadership. The purpose of leadership is service. At one point, Jesus' disciples were fighting over titles and positions. And Jesus told them, those of you who are going to be leaders in the kingdom, they must be the servants. So understand the purpose of leadership, because service is why we are called. So that's demon number 7. Demon number 8, existential schizophrenia. Now, this is a disease of hypocrisy, because schizophrenia is where you have two brains, two minds. You are seeing things double. You don't see what's going on. You are seeing a human being, but you are seeing him like an animal. In my village, I've seen hunters go to farm and shot human beings and kill them. And when they killed and they said, they came back and they said, no, I saw an antelope. It's an antelope that I saw and I shot and I killed. That's schizophrenia. It's hypocrisy. And this hypocrisy progresses into some kind of emotional emptiness. That is where we want the titles to fill that emptiness, because people don't feel satisfied. The work that we have, the things that we are doing, does not give you any satisfaction. You're not having passion about it. And so we become hypocrites, and we are living double lives. And we get to a point where we are actually no longer in touch with the so-called ordinary people. Leaders come down from the Eiffel Tower and come to the shop floor, go to the factory, walk around, see the people, see what your people are doing. Don't split your mind and forget the reality of what the organization is all about. Demon number 8. Demon number 9, gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting. This is so prevalent in corporate life. Oh, did you hear that the boss? Oh, did you hear? Do you know this girl went into this? Sometimes it begins with small talks. Then, gossip will take over. And then it moves to sower of weeds. We begin to propagate rumors and things that are not true, because somebody heard something, he didn't hear that. And then he goes to this one. This one is like that. This person is not doing this work. This one is doing this one. This one is, you see that the boss was going out with this girl. The boss is favoring that one. This is this one. Oh, this one doesn't qualify for that job, and they have given him that position. There's so much backbiting that sometimes the organization is so paralyzed and gets to a point where people have become cold-blooded killers. They are assassinating characters of people, and they think they are right. This is a demon. If you find yourself peddling, telling people, and the boss is like this, and that person is like this, and the head of this is like this, and the HR is like that, and the finance person is like this, and you are causing and sowing seeds of discord within the organization, you know that you are possessed by demon number 9, gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting. What you need is the courage to look at yourself in the mirror, the courage to be able to go and sit with people and to deal with them, because gossiping and sowing seeds of discord and discontent against other people in the organization is cowardly, and it's marks of lack of courage. Okay? Don't speak behind people. All right. The rule is that don't say behind people what you cannot say in front of them. If you can say it in front of them, then that's fine. Demon number 10, and I'm going to run up quickly soon. I will now going to go fast through the demons. Idealizing superiors. This is so rife in politics, but in corporate world, it's even there. I used to have some managers in a meeting, before they begin any contribution. It is, you see, as the boss said, and sometimes they want to even talk like the boss. I've seen some of them, they just want to dress like the boss. Some people go even up to the way of walking like the boss. They come every morning and they want to greet the boss. They want to do favors to the boss. They want to carry the bag of the boss. They bootlickers because they desire to gain favor. These are people who have become victims of careerism and opportunism. Because they believe that if they do that, then the boss will favor them. The boss will give them this. And this is really, really, really dangerous, because they think that the only way to get what they want is to just, humor the boss. These are small minds. They themselves are unhappy in themselves, and that is why they do that. And some bosses encourage that because they want everybody to be submissive to them, everybody to be loyal to them, and psychologically dependent on them. And that is also the demon of idolizing superiors. So the superior himself can be possessed by this demon, and he wants everybody to sing his praises. And people who criticize them, he will find ways of getting back at you. No, this is not right. We need to focus on meritocracy and on excellence to build our organization. Demon number 11, indifference to others. This is where each leader thinks only of himself and herself and loses the sincerity and warmth of genuine relationships. Some leaders don't build genuine relationship with their people. The most knowledgeable person does not put that knowledge to the service of the whole organization. They are just focused on others. And out of jealousy or deceit, they take the joy of seeing others actually fail. They are happy when the other departments have lost their numbers. And they forget that we are all in the same boat. This is a demon. And the antidote is for you to focus on the big picture. Demon number 12, I have just 3 more to finish, and then we are done. Downcast face. Now, this demon is what makes some leaders believe that to be serious and to put on a face of severity and treat others with severity is what gives you power, especially those who are inferior to you. And they have to be brutal and arrogantly blunt and kill the spirit of others, because you have to be serious. These people don't want to have any jokes with people. They don't want to, just simple compliment to people. No. You don't have to be that. Don't say people, why are you saying his dress is nice? They will not say your dress is nice. They will not look at their subordinates and just compliment them, because if they do that, they will be too familiar with them. And so they have to be severe. I remember I had one boss who, I knew him. I was so close to him, and I know how soft he is. But he's when he deals with the subordinates, and he's so hard. One day I asked him, say, but you're not that bad. But why are you so tough on people? He says, Sam, if I don't become so hard, they'll take advantage of me. So I have to present a hard face. I said, but that doesn't help, because you're creating a wrong image of yourself. That's not how you are. He says, no, it's important. You are young. You don't understand. That's the demon of downcast which has possessed him. This is a symptom of fear and insecurity, and you need to exercise that through genuine happiness, great happiness. In fact, there is a whole study on how happiness and laughter within the organization fosters results. Encourage that. We need to be courteous and enthusiastic. And leaders should never lose the joyful, humorous, and even self-deprecating spirit, which makes people amiable even in difficult situations. So the leader should understand that. All right. Hoarding, which is related to an earlier demon, is where the leader tries to fill his void in the emptiness with material things. And some leaders want to accumulate. And I've seen leaders fight over cars. They buy the car, 2 years, they have depreciated it. They will buy it and keep it. I've seen our parliamentarians every day, 4 years, every 4 years, they are getting S-Gracia, and they are buying 4-wheel drive. Then the 2 years, they will depreciate it. They will keep it. They will buy another one for them. They are accumulating material things because they feel that is what will make them. This is not on. Leaders understand. We came with nothing, we will go with nothing. So understanding that is so important to dealing with this demon. Close circles. I have one more to go and we are done. Is the 14th demon. And this also happens even in churches. In families, it can happen. That demon can afflict any corporate organization where we create cliques, groups, and those groups within the organization become more powerful. In fact, sometimes decisions are made with this group, and the board meetings or management committee meetings just becomes a formality because that clique have gone to hatch out. Yes, there's room for, consultation and so on and so forth. But when we have developed cliques, those cliques can become a cancer, and it doesn't make room for harmonious deliberation. It doesn't make room for unity and teamwork. The most dangerous aspect of this is that sometimes those cliques, when they break apart, then, as the military will call the friendly fire, they'll start fighting among themselves within the clique, and then they begin to bring down the whole organization, and then the whole place becomes toxic. The Bible says that a kingdom divided against itself will not stand. Leaders must foster unity and harmony and not tolerate and encourage this demon of closed circles where nobody can enter. The last demon I'll talk about is the demon of extravagance and self-exhibition. These days, some people even call it branding, show off, power. And they use this power to gain material things. This is related to hoarding. And then those material things give them more power. And we see this in our politicians who are amassing wealth, so much money, so that they can use the money to go and campaign and get their more re-elected, so that they can show that they are most powerful. This insatiable accumulation of power, people will even kill, because that demon is so very dangerous. They will slander and defame others, say bad things about other people, so that they can look good. And their motto is the end justifies the means. And they will use every means to achieve their end. This is a very, very dangerous demon. All right. So we have looked at 15 demons. Now, let me just summarize quickly. Apart from the remedies we have looked at, there are three quick things I want to add to help us. Intentional and constant personal health checks, self-awareness. We need to be intentional about knowing who we are and where we are falling apart. Leaders, you have to check your blind spot. The second point is genuine and honest feedback. And the third is professional help. Now, there is a test I'll share in the presentation, which will help you to do your personal check. Okay? On a scale of 1 to 5, you have to check whether you are 1 or 5. Now, it's like the temperature. The higher your score, the more possessed the demon it is on you, the bigger the demon that has possessed you. So I'll leave this one. Leaders must seek genuine feedback. Sometimes the feedback we want is lip service. 360-degree assessment, where your superiors, your subordinates, and your peers will assess you. It's a good way for people to give you feedback. Sometimes this should be done anonymously so that you can know, because sometimes leaders, when they tell them the truth, they want to go and kill others. But if you do that, it means you are not serious about exorcising that demon. Also, pay attention to what third parties tell you. Casual conversations. 3, formal personality assessment, DISC, MBTI, and so on, can help you to know your blind spots. The third point is and the final point is professional help. You need mentors and advisors. You need coaches. You need counselors. In fact, sometimes you even need psychologists and psychiatrists. Some leaders actually need psychiatrists because the demons are too powerful. So, Sarah, that's my presentation. I'll leave it here so we can have discussions. Leaders have an important role to play, and they do a lot of things, but they can be sidetracked by diseases and blind spots that sometimes destroy the organization. And these we have called the demons. Thank you so much for your attention.
Navigating through life without a coach or a guide can be very deceiving, making you come to think that you have achieved the highest or the best you can ever, or you have made the best of decisions. But until you become very intentional and take a good stock of your life, you would not realize that it's a mistake.
Pain helps you to come out of your comfort zone.
The law of intentionality and the fact that learning is a lifelong journey if you want to be significant. Emphasis on significance.
Previously, I used to be very unintentional about the things I do when it comes to my family, my work, my Christian life, and basically everything that I do.
In the pursuit of that growth, there are gaps. There are gaps that we need to conquer. These gaps include the knowledge, perfection, mistake, inspirational, timing, and assumption gap.
And I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
I encourage you all out there who need to live their life to be part of CTL Africa's growth journey.
Please take advantage of this program and your life will never be the same.
Thank you very much, CTL Africa, and continue to impact the world. God bless.
Wow, what a great presentation. Sam, thank you. This was excellent. And I can see so many comments. Let me read a few whilst you take time to get back your voice. Just take a little rest and I'll see whether there are any questions. So far, I've seen lots of comments. So whilst I'm reading the comments, I'll invite our viewers to put in their questions. We still have some time that we can go and answer your questions for you. So Natalia says, all work and no play. All right. And let me see. She says, of course, the flexibilities are needed in so far as the human factor is involved. Emma Akon says, great session. Natalia again says, when successful, always remember those who helped you. And Dorothy Aiken says she was really enjoying the presentation. The things you are saying are very true. Thank you, Mr. Ayim. And Hadia Alima says these demons are so real and affects delivery of responsibility. Exactly so. Shadrach Owusu says very educative. Thank you. Emma Akon, this is so true. And Martin Atiako Frando says, watching from Agunas Radio. Welcome, Martin. And then Hadia says, indifference to others is demotivating. Thank you for these comments. I'm still looking for questions that are not coming up. Let me see. Natalia says there's interruption in the transmission. Hopefully it's from your end. Yes, I believe so, Natalia. I hope you've been able to sort it out. Natele Latte, thank you for joining us from East Legon. Josh Sintim says, Demon 14, gross corporate politics. Winners of an internal interviews to replace vacant positions are far known ahead before results are declared. Very true. Very true. Miss Abby, downcast face is such an unnecessary attitude. A conducive environment allows for better output. Certainly agree with you, Miss Abby. And Charles Loco says, wow, Very great presentation. I'm still not seeing any questions. So Sam, you can rest a little while. Let's see. Kwame Essien says, powerful metaphor for describing demonic practices in the workplace. Great lesson, Lawyer Ayim. Thank you, Kwame, for this comment. And Natalia says, leaders need professional life coaches. Absolutely. Thank you, Natalia. Lakwe says, thank you very much for this session. Great presentation. Sam, we are getting lots of comments and commendations. So thank you all for active participation. Victoria Tufor, so beautiful and powerful lessons shared. God bless you and your entire team. Thank you, Victoria. And let's see, Charles Loco, thanks so much, Senior. Okay, I still don't see any questions. Richard says, thank you, Brother Samuel. If one is already possessed, that's the first question. So Sam, take note. If one is already possessed with any of these demons, how should the exorcism begin? Begin. Sam, that is the first question to you. And Dennis Ahe says, very insightful and an eye-opener. Okay, so far one question. Thanks. Havu Vignon says, thanks. Natalia, thank you, Mr. Samuel Ayim. Emma Akon, that is the second question. How do you manage these demons when you are a victim? Yes, when you're a victim and you don't see the blind side, how do you manage that? Sam, I hope you're taking notes. So that's the second question. And then the third question is coming up now, and then I'll stop after this third question and you can answer. Natalia Quajri says, does leadership begins with families? Does leadership begins with families? So Sam, we have 3 questions. If you're still there, Kofi, let's see whether Sam is still there and he can come and help us answer.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Sarah. I'm still here. I think the first question was how, if you're already possessed, how should the exorcism begin? Now, it begins with self-awareness, because that is the biggest blinder, because we are blinded as leaders from the demons, and the demon will make to make sure that you don't see them. And so the first thing is self-awareness. Once you get the self-awareness, you then begin to take your own initial, it's just like any other disease. Some of it you can take paracetamol, you know that you have headache, you check your temperature, and then you can take the necessary actions. And if once you have recognized the type of demon, then you have to decide whether you can deal with it yourself, because some of the demons you can deal with it yourself. If you can't, do you need help? Okay. And if you need help, what type of help you need? A lot of the time you will need, if you have good coaches, your coach would be able to help you to see your demons, because sometimes we all want to hear our own voices. We think what we know in our head is the best. We think the other person is wrong. When there is even a conflict, we don't want to recognize that we had a part in it. So a coach will have an independent view and help for you. So that is it. It starts with self-awareness, and the second thing is to ask for help and then take action. You don't just go. Some leaders have gone and they have seen this is it, but they will say, me, I don't care. That's how I am. Now the demon doesn't want to go. It's just like the demons that were cast out, and then there was nothing in the person, and the demons came back. They came back with more. So sometimes if you recognize the demons and you don't deal with them decisively, they will multiply. You get entrenched in your attitude. You become even more arrogant. You become even more hard. You become even more downcast. That is not good. So deal with them. Now, how do you manage when you are the victim? Now, that's very, very difficult when you are the victim, when the boss is the one trampling over you. It is very, very, very difficult because the boss has all the power, the authority, especially in corporate world. Very often, like my former boss, you say, look, you can't fight. If you're fighting with your CEO, you are the one who will be let go. So you have to know how to do it. But you cannot continue to be at the receiving end without taking action. Now, sometimes your boss is not aware. So the first step is to try to have a one-on-one discussion with your boss. Bosses don't want to be embarrassed in public. They would sometimes embarrass you in public, but we're encouraging you. That is not leadership. That is boss. Leaders should learn not to be embarrassing others in public. Your boss should not be. Even if you are right, don't let your boss look bad in public, okay? So go to your boss, discuss with your boss, sit with him, and bring his attention. I have done some of this with some CEOs I've worked with, like maybe as company secretary, I've worked with like 7 CEOs in my career, even more. And sometimes I've had to go and have one-on-one with them. Sometimes they are not even aware. And when I brought it to their attention, they say, Sam, are you sure? Is that how I behave? I said, well, unfortunately, that is it, but you don't see it. When the leaders are genuine, they would accept it. But if they're not accepting it, then if there is a process within the organization to deal with it, do it. Sometimes a colleague, and in some cases where I don't have a good relationship with the person or the person will not listen to me, a staff, then you want to look for somebody else who can talk to the person on your behalf. And then eventually, when all things have been done and you cannot, and it's a cultural or value issue and it's health issue, sometimes you have to quit. Okay, so that is that. There's the third question. Does leadership start from home? Well, leadership starts from you, the leader. The first person to lead is yourself. So leadership starts with a leader. And everything we are talking about, if we're going to deal with these demons, it starts with you. Learn to lead yourself. Learn to discipline yourself. Now, if you can't lead yourself, nobody will lead you. So learn to lead yourself first. Then, of course, your family is the most immediate. Then your friends. Then, of course, you can go to the wider society. But I cannot overemphasize the need for you to lead yourself first. Stephen Covey calls it in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the private victory. Win the private victory before you come and start to lead other people. All right. So I hope that helps, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Kofi, can you add me? Hello.
You're already on.
Oh, okay. All right. So great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Sam. And Sam, I think if we could, when you are a victim, is there a possibility if in your organization or your company you do have some HR policies that you can really use? Because this can be a sort of sometimes psychological harassment, bringing HR in to see how this can be handled. Yeah, that
Yes,
could be
yes. In
also
some
a
of the
possibility.
cases, that's why I say go through the internal process of
Yeah,
redress. So it will be
exactly.
useful. Yeah.
Okay, great. I can see some more questions now coming up. And let me read first. Hadia says she's learned so much and can associate with some of them. And I have to work on them. Thanks, lawyer Ayim. And she continues to say, what are the early signs to know that a demon wants to capture you? What are the early signs to know that a demon wants to capture you? That's the first question. And then I'll go on to Douglas Amwateng, who says, is it possible for one to overcome all these 15 rules of demons as a leader? Is it possible? And Reverend Ebenezer Alabi says, demon number 6. What do you do with people who always want to torment you with the help they offered you whilst climbing up, and sometimes doesn't want to obey your orders in the organization? Reasons for demon number 6. Okay, so take these 3 and then we can go to the next questions. So the first
All
one
right.
is, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Can there be early signs? If a leader is very aware, you can have early signs. But if you're not very aware, then you would not, before you realize the thing is actually gone so bad. Okay. I mean, just this week I was having a discussion with my lawyer, of my doctor, and we were discussing about cancer and this and I said, but doctor, what are the signs? And he says, cancers don't have any symptoms. That's why if you just go and do a test and then you realize that it is there, and sometimes it's gone so bad. It's only when it's so bad. And demons are like that. Sometimes they don't give you a clue that they are coming. So you have to be aware. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be spiritually intelligent. You have to be aware. You have to have intuition as a leader. And you have to develop yourself consciously and intentionally every day of your life. That is the only way you can catch them. Otherwise, they will sneak in, and then before you realize, things are not going well in the organization because you're focused on objectives. That's the danger with this. The demons are exploiting the good things you are doing. It's not that you are so bad, though. You are a very good person. You are winning contracts. You are winning business. Your organization is achieving, and that is where the demon comes in and brings the pride and the arrogance, and then you begin to feel so important, and then you feel that you are invincible, that you're not going to die anymore until boom, you die. So that's what I would say. Self-awareness is what you need. Is it possible to overcome all these demons? I would say it is possible. It is possible. All things are possible if you work at it. You may not be able to completely eliminate them, and if you do your scale, when I did the scale, and I tested my level, because the biggest score is 75, and I realized that in some of the demons I am actually a 4. For example, excessive busyness, I found myself as a 4. I'm not balancing my life enough. So some of them you will be so high, some of them you'll be so low. So you know yourself and you work at it. Dr. Rev Alabi's question is true. Sometimes some people help you and they will continue to torment you with the help, and they want favors, and they want this, and they want that, and they want this. So it is true. But as leaders, I think we need to draw the line. What we can do, yes, we should appreciate them for their help, but they should also know that if it is the job that they have done, if they have helped you, please, they should not come back always to torment you with the help that they have done to you. So I think when it's becoming excessive, you have to have a serious talk. Have a sit down with a person and start by appreciating what he has done. And then bring his awareness that the behavior is probably becoming a bit too intrusive. It's becoming a bit detrimental. It seems as if the help that he gave you is becoming now an albatross on your neck. And you love the person, you care for him, you don't want the relationship to go, but you should watch this and ask what the person wants. And then, if you want you to pay him back and let him go, then you pay. Sometimes, you just have to say, look, we'll pay you back and then let you go, pay you out. So those are some of the things that you can do. But it's true that, but Reverend, if you have any ideas, I know you probably can share with us. Yes.
Great. Yeah, thank you. The next one is from Charles Loco. He says, this presentation is top-notch presentation, and I like the way you blended it with Christian teachings. How can HR, who has identified such demon in a leader, make moves to help such a leader? How can HR do so?
All
And
right.
then Natalia says, do not let your boss look bad in public. Okay, commenting, underline your comment. Then leadership begins with you, the individual. Okay. Let me go down to questions. Havel says, how can we manage that demon of circles in the company? I think it's the closed circles in the company.
Yeah.
And then Natalia says, how do you manage the demonic influence from your circle of friends?
Okay.
So these are the next three for you. And yes, I think we still have time. Great. Over to
All
you,
right.
sir.
The first one is I missed that one a bit.
Okay, I'll go back.
Charles Loco says the role of HR.
HR. How can HR?
If the HR has found these demons in people, and of course, HR has a big role in corporate organizations in this, because most of the time people are coming to you, and so the HR has a big role. Now, when you were seeing a demon in a particular head of department, staff, whatever, I think the HR, as a neutral person who is not being affected, you can call the person to draw his attention to this in a very professional manner. That's the first thing. The second thing is that some of these things, maybe what you can do is to put together a training around this thing, so that you can bring, maybe you don't want to invite a person alone because of whatever reasons. So you can arrange a particular training that would bring all the people together, and these issues can then be addressed in a corporate environment, and that will hopefully help. The third suggestion would be to arrange a coach for this person. If you arrange a coach or coaching sessions for these bosses, they or leaders, they will probably be helped in that respect. Okay. Now, how do you manage the demon of closed circles in organizations? That can be very, very difficult. People just build up these teams. Maybe you should talk to us. We have a great team building program for organizations, where we help organizations to build. You need team building, but here again, you also need training and awareness to bring people's attention to this. In some organizations, people are moved around the organization, or transferred, so that the cliques are, if it is becoming insidious, then they are minimized. But training and awareness is very, very important, and letting people know, and also selling the big picture, letting people understand that we are all part of the big picture. All right. Now, the influence among your friends, the demons among your friends. I mean, yes, look, as we've said here a million times, each one of us is a leader, and you're leading from different level. Even at your friends level, you're leading, and everybody is leading, because leadership is influence. So when you have picked any demon within your circle of friends, the same principle. one-on-one. Try to bring your friends' attention to it in a very genuine, loving way, and draw their attention. Sometimes your friends would say, no, 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 I'm not like that. I'm not like that. It always happens because it's a blind spot. They don't see it. It's not their fault. They genuinely don't see that they are like that. It's the third person who sees it. So you need an effort to do that. And you can then bring other of your friends if one-on-one doesn't help, and then you can try to help the person. Otherwise, you can find somebody that all of you respect, and then you can have a discussion if it is about friendship within your friends. So those are the ideas I can throw up to Natalia. Thank you so much, Natalia, for your questions.
Okay. Let's see. Natalia says you will have to be emotionally and spiritually intelligent to have dominion over the demons around you. Yes, exactly, Natalia. And then Denisa Hayes says, please, can you say that some of the demons are spiritual? We come to the spiritual side. And then Nate Kofi says, this is an insightful presentation. Thank you. And let me see. Natalia comments, I know your limits in whichever situation. And I like that everybody is leading on potential or potentially leading. Okay, Sam. So the last question is, are some of these demons spiritual?
Yes, when I began, I said that when I sent this topic out, one of my friends said, hey, Sam, now we are going spiritual. And I said, yes, human beings are spiritual beings. Now, yes, it is spiritual in the sense that these are emotional things, these are human, these are things that happen. But it's not spiritual in my view, in the sense that, we are using the demons, in a sense of what we all understand to be something that is destructive. Now, these are character issues. Some of them are personality issues. Some of them are learned behaviors. Okay, so those are the sources. So you have to identify the source. If you're a coach or if you're trying to deal with it yourself, you have to determine the source of the. If it is your personality, and all of us have personalities. Those of you who have done this, the D personality is more likely to be afflicted by, the first demon, where he feels invincible and he feels that he cannot do anything. So when you're a D personality, it comes to you naturally to feel that you can do anything and direct the whole world. So it's part of your personality. So it takes a personality test and awareness. Now, if it is something that you have learned over time, then of course you have to begin to unlearn. And all of us learn, unlearn, and relearn. So it is not spiritual in the sense in which we Africans believe that some demon or devil or Satan somewhere has thrown something, or some witch has put this on your head or something like that. No. It's not spiritual in that sense, but it's spiritual in the sense that this is part of the human being. It's not your material side, it is the emotional side of you. And to that extent, because you can't touch it, it's your character, it's your personality, so you can't touch it, it's not matter. In that sense, you can say it's spiritual. Yes. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Great. Excellent. We are very much on time. And the last comment that I have is from Natalia that says some leaders are more experienced than others do. Indeed. Okay, Sam, there are no more questions. So I'll ask you to give your closing remarks. And thank you so much for taking the time to take us through all these great 15 lessons. So what are your closing remarks, Sam? Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. And I want to encourage all of you to either listen or read both Francis's, presentation of he calls them the diseases of leadership. and you get more details on this, which we are calling demons. And there are even much more. I mean, there are some studies, psychological studies, things about narcissism, and some different types of classifications of what, can go wrong as a leader with you. All of us should recognize our humanity. We should recognize our role as leaders is to serve. The purpose of leadership is to add value. So anything that will detract from that, we should watch it. We should encourage ourselves to be aware of our weaknesses. Leading yourself is the first work of the leader. And all these traits which undermine our leadership come from our inability to lead ourselves, to discipline ourselves. So I will encourage all of us as leaders to be aware of these demons, which can be very destructive, and to begin from today to deal with them. Thank you very much, Sarah. Over to you.
Right. Thank you, Sam. So this has been the Leadership Platform with Samuel Ayim on demons that afflict leaders and ways to really exorcise these demons. So until next week, wishing all of you a blessed weekend, and to all mothers on this call, wishing you a happy Mother's Day. We'll see you again next week. Good night and God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My name is Eliza.
My name is Elsie.
My name is Ebenezer Tufo.
This is Rosemary Robert Gacy.
Over the past 14 weeks, I have been part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey, and it has been a blessing for me. I want to share my lessons with you.
Indeed, my attitude to life has never been the same. On the very first day I joined the virtual Personal Growth and Leadership Masterclass organized by Center for Transformational Leadership CTL Africa under the tutelage of Mr. Samuel Ayim.
First, the law of intentionality. Second, the law of design. And third, the law of the rubber band, the law of expansion.
The law of intentionality, the law of awareness. Then we have the law of the mirror.
Looking at how intense these laws are and how much impact they're supposed to make to our life.
My value obviously is not the same. The program indeed satisfies my quest for knowledge. So I encourage you to be part of this journey and also become an encouragement to others.
I will recommend CTL Africa to everyone who hears about us.
It has been a blessing to me, and I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
So we thank Mr. Ayim, and we thank CTL, and thank you for listening to us.
God bless you as you make a move today.
I've been blessed and so you be blessed. Thank you.